just a piece of paper.
This court certainly held the county board.
Hi, my name is Kelly Lynch. I'm an actor and a voter. I'm not here to pitch you on which single candidate you should vote for, but how you can vote for as many candidates on the ballot as you choose. Sound interesting? Please take a few minutes to consider something called Instant Runoff Voting, a voting system that will make your vote count for more than it does today. Thomas Jefferson once expressed a hope that the United States would be a laboratory for democracy. However, it's too easy to become a museum for democracy, hanging on to old election rules even when there are newer or better methods of voting. Most of the time, we still elect people using the old plurality system. Whoever gets the most votes wins. But this system has some real problems. First, it can be really unfair. When more than two candidates run, winning doesn't require getting a majority of votes, only a plurality, often less than an outright majority. In fact, many elections in the United States for governor, the Congress, state legislatures, city councils, even the last two presidential races have been won with a plurality, but not a majority. That means that the majority of the electorate actually voted for someone other than the winner. The second problem with plurality elections is cost. To avoid simple plurality winners, many elections use primaries, or two-round runoff elections. Voters get a second chance to choose between the top two vote-getters, finally ensuring a majority winner. But holding two elections, often months apart, is expensive for the taxpayers funding the runoff election, and for candidates who must raise even more money for additional campaigning. What's more, many voters don't turn out for the runoff, which undercuts the whole purpose of holding it in the first place, ensuring majority rule. A third problem is that plurality voting causes difficulties for many underdog candidates as they get tagged as vote splitters or spoilers, even when they offer valid and attractive choices to voters. Instant runoff voting, or IRV, is a sensible, fair alternative to the old method. With IRV, instead of just picking one candidate, voters have the option of ranking as many candidates as they want. By allowing each voter to rank all the candidates according to their personal choice, IRV accomplishes the goal of a runoff in one election. In effect, an instant runoff. How does IRV work? Watch this short graphic illustration of how IRV would decide a hypothetical election. And I think you'll agree that instant runoff voting is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Preference voting. State-of-the-art democracy for a new century. Here is how preference voting works when electing a single winner. We have 15 voters and 4 candidates competing for one seat. Ballots are counted like a series of runoff elections. After counting first choices, candidate Washington has the most votes. Instead of just declaring Washington a winner, however, what if we were to ask the supporters of losing candidates who their next choice candidate is? We might discover that most voters actually prefer a candidate other than Washington. Preference voting allows voters to do just that, to indicate more than just their first choice. Here's a sample ballot. Voter Jane Doe has marked candidate Garcia as her first choice. Wong is her second choice, Washington her third choice, and Smith her fourth choice. After adding up all first-choice votes, candidate Smith is in last place with only 2 votes. So he is eliminated. But both voters who rank Smith first haven't wasted their votes. Instead, their votes are transferred to the next choice indicated on their ballots. One voter prefers Garcia as his second-choice candidate. The other voter prefers Wong. After transferring these votes, there is still no candidate with the majority of votes. So now, the Liberal candidate Garcia has the fewest votes and is eliminated. It turns out that all of Garcia's voters prefer the remaining Liberal candidate Wong to the more conservative candidate Washington. Wong receives all 4 votes. He wins the election. Note how preference voting made a difference. Without transferring any votes, the conservative Washington would have won, because the majority of Liberal voters split their votes among 3 rival Liberal candidates. But with preference voting, voters express their true preferences without settling for the lesser of 2 evils or worrying that their candidate was a spoiler. Even though Washington won 6 first-choice votes, her conservative base of support was narrow. Most supporters of the other 2 candidates ranked the more liberal Wong ahead of Washington. Jane Doe, for example, ranked Garcia first and Wong second. After Garcia lost, Jane's vote helped give Wong a majority. Wong had more support than Washington among all voters and won the election, as is only fair. That's how we elect a single winner with preference voting.
So that's how instant runoff voting works. Besides being fair and cost-effective, IRV has other advantages. It will encourage positive campaigning because candidates are going to be courting second and third choice votes. IRV eliminates the concept of the spoiler, and most importantly, by actually adding value to an individual's ballot, IRV should increase voter interest. For these reasons, several states and cities are now debating legislation on instant runoff voting. To wrap up, IRV will give us winners with real majority support. It keeps costs down for taxpayers and candidates. It will improve the quality of campaigns and increase voter interest. And it's very user-friendly for voters. They simply rank their favorite candidates, something we do every day with sports teams, movies, or even flavors of ice cream. As easy as 1, 2, 3. For more information about instant runoff voting and to find out how you can improve our democracy, please contact the Center for Voting and Democracy. Thanks for watching.